I just want to thank June and Dan for this opportunity to be with the homeschool families to share what the UH community colleges has to offer. Um, and I'm so very, very fortunate that in the room are my colleagues from the different CCs on Oahu to share a little bit about their college and how to help your graduating seniors, also your dual credit students or prospective dual credit students. And so we're going to try to provide families just a lot of information to help perhaps make informed decisions moving forward as they enter their next realm in their educational journey. So what I want to do is actually share a few things to kind of start us off. So if you look at the screen, this will provide a general overview of how the University of Hawaii functions. The way I like to share it is like we're one large family, and then we're just sort of peppered all over the islands. And so I always tell students that when you attend the University of Hawaii, just know that more than likely there's a campus near your home. And that's and you definitely want to keep that in mind. But another thing to remember is when you attend a community college, you actually have access to all the community college courses statewide. And so let's say a student takes a class at Leeward Community College and saw something they like at Windward. It's not submitting another application, but basically going into their registration portal, and this will all make sense once they're a student at UH. They go into their registration portal, select Windward, and then add that class. It's simple as that. And so I always tell students that if you see a class that might be full, say at Leeward, check the other campuses because it might be open, and then you can build your schedule that way. And so I feel like we're one large family in it together in making sure students get to whatever goal they set for themselves. The folks you see on the panel, and they'll introduce in themselves in a little bit, but the folks on the panel, safe to say, we all work as one large family. And so we're always sharing information, handing off students if they have an inquiry of a certain campus, because I think in our heart of hearts, you want to make sure that, again, students reach their end goal. So we do this as a team. So tonight, we're going to, again, talk about maybe targeting two student populations. Again, your graduating seniors and, again, prospective dual credit students. So what I'm going to do now is actually hand it off to our community college partners to introduce themselves, and then we'll go from there. So Evelyn, we'll start with you.
Aloha everyone and good evening. I'm Evelyn Bartley representing Honolulu Community College. I come out of our Outreach and Orientation Center. And this is where, yes, definitely we handle all those questions, all those early college questions, dual credit questions, every population you can think of. Outreach has it. So thank you. I'm very glad to be here. Awesome.
Right, thanks, Evelyn. And next, Kapilani Community College, Sheldon. Much like Evelyn, handling all the admissions inquiries, incoming students, and dual credit as well. So KCC, located on Diamond Head. Let's turn it over to Team Leeward.
All right, thanks, Sheldon. I'm Franelyn. I am the college recruiter out at Leeward Community College. Most of my work primarily, and we have Emily who's gonna talk a little bit about hers, but I am similar with Evelyn and Sheldon. We work with incoming students. I primarily work with a lot of our high school partners, and we call them traditional students, so those that are graduating from high school and go into college. So that's the population that we primarily handle. And then Emily.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting us this evening. My name is Emily. I am Franelyn's partner in crime here at Leeward Community College, supporting any prospective student that just wants to know more about our college. Along with supporting the efforts of the recruitment office, I also work with our returning adult student population.
Awesome, thank you. Windward.
Aloha, my name is Cindy Masatsugu. I am the outreach counselor at Windward down in beautiful Kaneohe. So I guess I kind of function somewhat as the go-to. So I'm just anyone who has any interest in Windward whatsoever. I'm pretty much the first point of contact. I am also the Running Start Early Alert point of contact for anyone who has inquiries about those programs that we have at our institution. I am also an academic advisor. So I do the regular counseling in addition to outreach and recruitment too.
All right, thanks, Cindy. All right, Evelyn, if you don't mind presenting about HCC, stage is all
Sure.
yours.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. Let me. Hang on, sorry. Little glitch here. Present. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, can you see it? Once again, I'm Evelyn from Honolulu Community College. And then just a really quick history of about us. Our community college is part of a Ahupua'a of Kapalama, known as New Helivai. So this is just a quick photo of it, our campus. And the photo down here is newly developed. Was traditionally built by Hawaiian traditions. And then to the left of it is a mural that sits right across of it. So this is right in our building 5, right across of our counselors. So that's just a really quick history. Quick overview of Honolulu Community College. Not many of people have seen it like this, yeah. So this is the past and this is the present. This is a new addition to our campus. And then just a really quick video of Honolulu, just a glimpse shot. Okay, I'm gonna play it for you.
Honolulu Community College, located in the heart of Honolulu, offers a wide array of academic programs.
We have this amazing blend of career technical education and a very robust liberal arts program here for our students.
The liberal arts program offers multiple degrees such as natural sciences and Hawaiian Studies, and pathways for students to easily transfer to a 4-year institution.
You can earn your associate's degree here, knowing that when you go to the Manoa campus or Hilo campus or West Oahu, that your general education has been met. Start here and really go anywhere within the UH system, to colleges on the mainland, even internationally.
Subject matter of copyright, the ownership of copyright.
Students can choose from 27 different degrees and 39 different academic certificates from 24 programs that include a broad range of career and technical education. Automotive technology, welding, audio engineering and music business, computer and information security, fashion, aeronautics maintenance, carpentry, cosmetology, and the list goes on.
Where students can go right in and get hands-on education and go straight to the workforce. That is a pride and joy of Honolulu Community College. And a lot of that has to do with the great faculty and staff that we have that come straight from industry that have helped us build these premier programs here at our college.
Purchase a rotor, resurface.
A number of the programs are taught in off-campus facilities in the same environment the students will ultimately work in, and can feature apprentice partnerships with entities like the Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard. Students receive training on the same type of state-of-the-art equipment they have to use in the workplace, and receive a lot of individual attention thanks to small class sizes and dedicated instructors.
They enjoy the benefits of having faculty that their sole purpose here is to teach students. They're not necessarily focused on research.
Annual tuition is just under $3,000 with a lot of financial aid and scholarship opportunities, along with knowledgeable staff that offer assistance every step of the way. The application process is online and there is no fee for Hawaii residents to apply.
Really here to serve the whole entire community. Everyone from our recent high school graduates to folks that are coming back needing some retraining or certification, or maybe folks that have been really busy working or raising a family and they want to come back and start their education. We've got a place for you here.
That place may be traditional daytime classes, distance learning classes, or evening apprenticeship and journey worker programs. No matter what route a student takes, academic advisors and support staff will make sure they take the right classes and reach their academic goals in the most efficient way possible, so no time or money is wasted.
What you will find here is a vibrant student community. We have student clubs and organizations. The faculty and staff here, both on the instructional and student services side, that really are here to make our students have the best college experience.
So that was, like I said, just a quick overview of what we have to offer. So a little bit more about Honolulu Community College. So we've just reached a milestone. We just celebrated our 101 years old. It's still young. So like Sheldon mentioned, main campus, you'll find a campus. So we're basically right in the heart of downtown, within walking distance of Costco's. So that's always a plus. They still have that $1.50 hot dogs, $1.99, pizzas. Alongside of with our main campus, we also have 3 facilities that we work out of, like our aviation facility, which is located near the Honolulu International Airport, and is structured there strategically because our aeronautics program works out of there. Their classes are there. And also our fire program. Some of our classes are there as well. The fire program, they use the building to rappel off of. So when our fire science students are in their last year, they report there and they do all those drills like rappelling from the second floor, running upstairs. So they simulate what our firefighters would do. And then we have our automotive and diesel technology programs, which is located 5 minutes away from our main campus on Kokea Street. And the last facility we have is our Marine Educational and Training Center, known as METC. And what's unique about that program is that we offer our navigation program and Hawaiian astronomy. Also, we have close ties with the Polynesian Voyaging Society. So if you're not familiar with them, they are the caretakers of the Hokulea and the Hikianalia. And then it's a plus for us because our navigation students actually navigate on the Hokulea and the Hikianalia. Because Kumuka Yolani, she's part of our navigation. She did one portion navigating the Hokulea when they're on that big journey. So she did a portion of that. So she teaches from experience and passion. So community colleges, yeah, like the video said, most of the instructors are already within the industry. So they're not only teaching, but they sharing their mana'o, their passion. Okay, so like again, we have over 26 programs, and within that 26 programs, you can either go for your associates or your certificate of completion. And yeah, and that's about it. Thank you. These are outreach information.
Thank you, Evelyn. Hard act to follow. I'm next. I'm going to give it a try. So let's start with KCC. And adding to Evelyn's message, I feel the community college provides a place for students to explore. It's such a neat place where students can touch on different things to see what's going to stick with them. I think like the video Evelyn shared, I think all our campuses do have advisors and counselors to help students through their journey, be it a graduating senior, entering as a freshman, or dual credit student, to kind of get a feel for what's out there and then grabbing that degree and running with it. I feel that with all our campuses, there's so much to explore, so many opportunities to find an interest that I think at some point during their journey, I think they're going to embrace, I think, what's a connection between what's out there and their internal values or their interests and even their strengths. Similar to Kupi'olani, I like what was shared in that video, in that all the instructors are there to teach. I think I can speak for all the instructors at all the CCs is that they have a passion to see students grow. We're not a research institution, even though maybe some of our teachers do research, but their number one goal is to teach their students. You will have instructors in your classroom who have PhDs in their field of study. And so for our case, we've got instructors with PhDs in engineering. We've got nurses. We've got folks who've been in the IT industry. We have folks who made film. Believe it or not, we have folks who love math, and that's why they're math teachers. And so when they enter this community college arena, they're around people who are excited for them on their learning journey. Just some side facts. In fact, here's our website, go.kapiolani.hawaii.edu. And to check out which journey is right for them, they just pick on which one is going to be their next journey. So if they're dual credit students, they click on this. And it'll show them all about what it means to be a dual credit student and the admissions process, which is also very similar to the process for first-time students. So all dual credit and those who are graduating from high school all have to submit an application. They all have to go through some kind of assessment, and they all have to submit health documents. And so they're treated as such. Actually, similarly, be it dual credit student or first-time college students, again, graduating from high school. The difference becomes how they move forward. And so students say, like, who are graduating, they are a true college student. Then they kind of go through that general college student process where they'll maybe do a full-time load, meet with advisors, things like that. On the dual credit side, what will probably happen is, speaking for Kapiolani, we'll talk more with the families to figure out what they're trying to accomplish as a dual credit student, say meeting high school graduation requirements, things like that. And so the communication lines may be a little bit different. But what happens at the end, really, they all then go back to the same thing, registering like any other college student, going through the same process like any other college student. And when they are in the classroom, they're all treated like college students. So whether if they're a dual credit or a graduating senior, or again, starting as a freshman, they're entering this arena as a college student. And so maybe that little tidbit may be the only difference. So here's the steps of what they'll go through. Maybe one of the main differences that will be between the dual credit student and your first-time college student is access to financial aid. So like Evelyn shared, there are financial aid and scholarship opportunities at all the community colleges. The differences between the dual credit one and those starting off after graduating from high school is their eligibility for federal financial aid and scholarships. And so for us to enroll as a freshman, to get financial aid is either having a GED or high school diploma, and they're good to go with the federal aid. So that's this part over here. Similar to all the community colleges, we have list of degrees. I would like to say that for all the different CCs, we offer something unique to each campus. And so that's the beauty about being a part of this larger family. There's so many opportunities to explore. Yes, KCC is heavy on the health, and we're known for our culinary arts, but actually our number one degree are those who are just trying to figure stuff out. We have a lot of students who say they want to go to college or say they want to major in a certain degree, but really they use this area to just explore. So liberal arts is actually our number one major. It allows that student to dive into different classes, figure out what's going to stick, and then run with it. True story, we had a student who started off as culinary arts, switched to hospitality, switched to liberal arts, and I kid you not, I think in May he graduated with his PhD in nursing. And so you talk about a journey, and that's sort of a story of a lot of our students. Like they try different things, they find stuff that they may have liked, or they might have gone down a journey and thought, you know, I thought I liked this, but maybe not. And so again, it's this place where they can really explore, and that's the community colleges. Much like Will shared, we have counseling for practically everything, and I can speak for I think all the CCs, where it ranges from academic to personal to career to job placement. We just have a lot of support in place so that students feel that they are with a larger team along on their personal journey. No student is assigned to one counselor. What I like to share is they're almost assigned to everyone. And so I always tell our students, even our dual credit students, you can be a part of, you can have a counseling team supporting you. So I could be one, someone from culinary arts could be another, someone from health could be another. It's just everyone trying to provide whatever information that will help that student make that informed decision as they proceed in their educational journey. And so that's KCC. Side information, I wrote down some of this statistics. So interesting, for University of Hawaii, starting with fall 2017, we had 57 homeschooled students. Now this is UH system-wide. Fall 2018 was 65, fall 2019, 49, fall 2020, 62 enrolled homeschooled students in the UH system. What I could pull from fall 2020, out of those 62, we had 9 enrolled at Kapi'olani as graduating seniors. 11 of that 62 was dual credit students. This fall 2022, I can say we have 3 who graduated from the homeschool community who are now true freshmen at our college. We have 9 homeschool students who are enrolled as dual credit. And so just had to throw that number out there because I think it's a wonderful. But much like anything outreach, I am the go-to guy if you have seniors who are thinking about attending Kapi'olani Community College, if you have children who are thinking about taking college classes while still in high school, I am that person. And so let me see if my information's here. Here I am, my partner in crime, Alfie Gonzalez. So he and I will reach out to whoever, work with whoever who is interested in making that bridge from into Kapi'olani Community College. But that's KCC. I'm going to now hand it over to Team Leeward.
Okay, so thank you so much, Sheldon. Very informative. So like Sheldon and Evelyn, like the information that they shared, Leeward is right there. We pretty much share the same information, generalized information. So what we want to do tonight is just kind of dive into who we are and the programs that we offer. So we are one of the largest campuses in the UH system. So with that, we've grown to support a very, very large number of our Native Hawaiian undergraduates and also our military affiliated students. So we have a lot of special student populations here at Leeward. And Franelyn and I kind of tackle from homeschool, entering in straight out of high school, all the way to students who are returning to college. We have 2 campuses. Our main campus is located in Pearl City. And then we have our second satellite campus, which is located in Waianae, on the Waianae coast, called our Waianae Moku campus. So the pictures to the right, the top one is our the front of our concourse. So when you think of Leeward or when you're coming up to Leeward, this is basically the main entrance that students come up to. So it's very open. This is where you get to see our learning commons and then also our newly built welcome center. Down to the right corner, it's just a glimpse of our Waianae Moku campus. So here at Leeward, we offer an early admit program for our homeschooled students. So this is for students who want to take college courses. So this is open to homeschooled students who are in their junior or senior year. And basically we have a early college team that is here to help students provide information to them what the early admit program is about. And it's essentially while you're a high school junior or high school senior, at the same time you can take these college credits. So we do have a list of requirements that students need to complete or submit as far as the application package to be admitted into the early admit program. And I will say this program is offered every semester. So basically, if you have any student that is interested, or you just have any questions and you want to learn more about it, Franalyn and I are here, and then we also, like I said, have a team that is ready to support you. So why early admit? So it's really important that students who are thinking about the early admit program, the first thing to know is that you are taking college courses. So like Sheldon mentioned, you're entering, even though you're a junior or senior in high school, you're taking college credits. So we're gonna treat you as such. Because you're in this program, we know that you have the determination, the mentality to take on these college courses. So while in high school, doing the early admit program, you are jumpstarting your college career. So it could seem like a big task to do, but knowing that you want to enter into the early admit program just tells a lot about your motivation to complete your high school degree and then also get started on your college journey. Entering this program will also, in the long haul, save you time and money. So for Leeward Community College, we are a 2-year institution. So sometimes 2 years doesn't necessarily mean that you'll receive your degree in 2 years, but thinking of starting college courses while you're in high school, you can take that 2 to 3 year degree and then chop it down into like another 1.5 years or maybe close to 2 years after high school. So getting started is really, really important because it saves you time and energy after completing your high school diploma. Money, we cannot emphasize how how the financial benefit of entering the early admit program is really important. Again, there are some scholarships and some financial assistance available to you out of the colleges. So we really want to emphasize that starting the early admit program will, over the long haul, will help you save time and money. Having access to college resources is also a plus because being a high school student, sometimes there is limited sources and sometimes not, but it's always a positive to have additional resources on top of that. So we have counselors available to help you. We have class material that, in addition to help you throughout your studies. So it's always something to help support students while they start their college courses with us. Transferability. So like Sheldon mentioned, we have students who start at our college, sometimes not knowing what they want to do, but just wanting to get started, taking college courses, getting a feel for what's out there. So at Leeward Community College, along with the other UHCCs, you can start with your general education courses and just kind of get a feel of what program you might be interested in. If you're not too sure, that's okay. You don't always have to know what you want to do in the future when you enter college. We have different courses to help you. We have counselors to provide guidance to kind of help you navigate through the programs that we offer and through the classes that we offer as well. And then overall college experience. It's very different from being in high school. I would say the takeaway that a lot of students see entering this program is just seeing their peers. You're working with other students who have similar experiences from you. So, they're also taking high school courses and then also entering into a college realm, which is very foreign, and sometimes you just, knowing that you have somebody who is sharing the same experience will help you throughout this time. So these are just really good reasons as to why we feel that helping students get a jump start into the early admit program, it will benefit them into their college journey.
All right. So even though if you're not interested in the early admin, which is totally fine, because like Sheldon mentioned, you are gonna meet with our early college team. So we have a designated team of early college counselors that really talk with the student and the family to make sure that the choice that they're making to take to do their high school classes and college classes at the same time is um, gonna work with the schedule for the student and the family, because we definitely don't want to put the student juggling high school and college at the same time. We don't want to start them off on a bad foot. So we just kind of want to emphasize that there is an early college team that will talk with the family and the student to make sure that it's best fit for you, because sometimes it might, because we know it's a hot topic now across the nation, but we just want to make sure for our students that it's going to be doable for them and their schedule, especially if they're involved in a lot other extracurricular activities, or if they're working on top of their high school. We want to make sure that taking dual credit classes is going to fit their schedule. So I just wanted to note it out there. So the team will definitely talk about those kinds of things. So if the early college or early admit is not the path for the student, we do have other, they can totally graduate as a senior and come to our campus. So some of the popular programs, we have about a total of about, I think 79 associate degrees and certificates total. And these are kind of the more popular programs at Leeward Community College. Our CTE, our Career and Technical Education programs, which I'm going to kind of go over in the next slide, is one of our biggest programs on our campus. And it's basically for those students who are interested in more of a terminal degree. So they're interested in just a 2-year and then joining the workforce after. The other one that we do, the other ones that we do have, these are more for students who are seeking actually a 4-year degree, but they want to save time and they want to save some money. So they take all their prereqs at the community colleges and then transfer over to the 4-year, so that they can save at least 2 years, have like save money for the 2 years, rather than doing a full 4-year university and paying the entire university tuition for all 4 years. Our two biggest pathways for the 4-year is our STEM, our ASNS degree, which is our natural science, basically in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So this track is good for students who are interested in things like becoming a doctor, an engineer. And one of the things, if for example, if the student is interested in engineering at UH Manoa, if they enter this ASNS track here and complete it, they get their and make the GPA, they actually get a direct entry into the College of Engineering at UH Manoa. So we do have some programs that have a pathway into the 4-year. So this is one of them. The other one that we're really known for, our college is known for, is our liberal arts exploratory pathways. So we have 4 of them, well, kind of 5, and it's social science, arts and humanities, health science, and business. This is the most flexible pathway because the student chooses the courses that are going to be beneficial for when they transfer over to the 4-year. So for example, if they go into the health sciences pathway, these are students who are interested in nursing, physical therapy, dental hygienist. So those that are interested in going to Kapilani CC nursing, UH Manoa nursing, UH Hilo nursing, this is the pathway that they would go into. And same thing with these other ones. They go into the pathway that they're interested in for the 4-year. And then their other popular program is our Hawaiian Studies, which is very brand new for our campus, but it's one of the our programs that are especially for our Native Hawaiian population or anybody that's interested in Native Hawaiian culture and language. That is our other popular degree at our campus. So as far as the CTE programs, just to kind of highlight, those are the 2-year degrees that students, sorry, we put liberal arts on accident. But most of those 2 years that students go into is like our teacher education, accounting, automotive, culinary, our digital media, our integrated industrial technology. So this is a new one. If you're interested in engineering, but don't want to do a 4-year degree and want to work in like the machinery to run the rail, or we don't have Love's Bakery, but that's a concept. So if students are interested in working on machinery in those kinds of factory settings, integrated industrial technology is one of our newest programs, and it's similar to engineering, but not 4 years. And then our intro to computer science, and then health information technology are all our 2-year degrees that are very popular for CTE. And then I'm pretty sure we're gonna all talk about it, but definitely just so you folks know what kind of so first definitely discuss the program or interest that the student might have, and then they would apply to whatever campus after this, whatever campus the student is interested in. Then they will get an acceptance email, and then after that, the team, all the people here that you see, will definitely help the student go through all the steps that they need to do in order for them to actually register for their first semester with us. And then obviously the last step would be enroll. So this is kind of the overview of what the student's journey might look like up until actually enrolling for their first semester. And then we put the deadline just in case you folks wanted to know. For the spring semester, fall semester is May 1st. But that's pretty much it. If you folks do have any questions, definitely reach out to us. This is our email, and then this is our phone number. And then we can pop it in the chat after if you folks have any questions for our campus.
Thank you so much, Team Leeward. All right, Windward, it's all yours.
All right. Okay, I had to like adjust my slides as I heard what was being covered and what wasn't covered. So it was great, but I'm like, oh wait, good, they talked about this. I can take this out of my slideshow. So please bear with me. Okay, so let me start. Am I showing you the correct screen? You guys are good? So I wanted to just show you my contact information first. So again, I'm Cindy from Windward
Actually, got to
Community
hit your
College. I'm
present.
the outreach. Oh, did I not present? Uh-oh, wait. Sorry, thank you. I'm in my thing view. Okay. Okay, how does that look? Is it loading? Okay, now we got it.
Perfect.
So before I forget, because a lot of times we kind of forget to give our contact information until the very end. So I thought I'd start with my contact information in the very beginning. So this is my email address. This is my office phone. This actual number here is going to be our counseling department's office. So if anyone does want to make an appointment with anyone in our counseling department, this is the go-to number. And this is our website. So it's really simple, just windward.hawaii.edu. And I wanted to kind of start with, as Sheldon mentioned, there's 7 different UH community colleges. What kind of makes Windward special? And a lot of it too, the affordability, it goes across all 7 campuses. I'll touch upon this a little bit. And location, campus support. I have slides for these 3, but the quality teaching and the small class size. I know Sheldon mentioned earlier, you are getting bona fide instructors. As you mentioned, they're all going to have at least their master's. Some of them do have their PhDs. You're not getting grad assistants. You're not getting instructors who are there for research. They really are there to teach. And it kind of goes hand in hand with the small class size because it's a community college. Students are not going to be a number. They're going to know who the instructors are. Instructors are going to know who they are. They're going to get to know their peers. Class size, no more than 35. Windward's campus on average is 15 to 30 students per class. I personally myself have taught an introduction to college IS 103 course in fall of 2019 and 2020. And my last class I taught back last fall, I only had 6 students in my class. So it's really, really nice, a much more intimate setting in the sense that students, perhaps even from homeschool, they're not used to being in a huge auditorium where there are hundreds of students. You're really getting more of that one-on-one personalized type of education, which I think is very unique to the UH community colleges. And so talking about affordability, this tuition for resident is $131 per credit. It's pretty much across the board for the UH community colleges. The parts that might differ would be each campuses might have different types of fees, depending on what the program is too, and depending on what the campus fees in general are. For Windward's, our programs, we don't have any extra additional program fees with the exception of our vet technology program. That's the only one that does have an additional $100 professional lab fee for the first year program, and then a $300 professional lab fee for the second year program. It's per semester because students will be working with equipment and chemicals and things like that. Non-resident too, you can see there is quite a difference, but compared to the four-year institutions, we are a steal as far as how much it costs. Just to give a comparison, 12 credits is a full-time status. You're looking at about $1,600 in tuition per semester. Compare that to Manoa, you're looking at $5,500 per semester. So really getting the most bang for your buck, so to speak. Our application deadlines are slightly different. So for the spring semester for Windward, our deadline's not till December 15th. Fall of 2022, I'm not sure if this is going to change. We actually pushed back our deadlines by a week. Normally it's August 1st, but because of the pandemic, we pushed it back a week to allow more students to apply because of any kind of difficulties they might have, since everything pretty much is done virtually now. Okay, so I do have a short video. We are the hidden gem. Like really, I can attest to this personally. I was born and raised on Oahu. I could count on one hand how many times I had gone to like Windward Mall, but now that I work at Windward, I know that Windward Mall is like a couple blocks away from Windward Community College. And for those of you who may not live on the Windward side, myself included, we are connected really easily by H3. For those of you who live west side, Central Oahu, there's Likelike, there's the Pali. So it really is not that far away than what most people might think we are. We are the only institution on the Windward side of the island. So it's just a very, very beautiful campus, and I'll let the video speak for itself. Oh, sorry.
And actually, if you don't mind talking over the video, I think the audio's not coming through.
Oh, sure.
But that's okay. Just, yeah, if you could do just.
So this is our library, this beautiful glass 3-story building right here. This is about 5 years ago it was built. It's very green, very sustainable. All of our buildings used to be part of the state hospital. So we're located right between the state hospital and the Kaneohe District Park. We have a beautiful theater. We have an observatory. We have a planetarium. So even though our campus really is, oh, there's our planetarium and observatories off in the distance. We do have a lot of amenities on our very, very small campus. It really is, it reminds me of a high school campus, to be honest. It's not that big at all. And we're actually the second smallest in population. This fall, I think we only have about 2,400 students. I believe we are second behind Kauai CC, which is the smallest campus, and we're like the second smallest campus. And you can see here is a lush ko'olaus. This is what I look out to every day from my office. It is green, it is wet. So be sure you bring an umbrella and a jacket with you at all times, because you really don't know when it's gonna rain. And that's why I've never washed my car, because it rains so often, my car always gets dirty. But That's one word for you. And so this is another look of what our campus does look like. So we have this beautiful great lawn that you saw in the video. So if you literally stood in the center of this lawn and did a 360, you could essentially see all the buildings on our campus. All the buildings you can see here begin with Hale, house. And so our library is centered here. For those of you who are thinking of coming in person for admissions, it's right as soon as you come up Kea'ahala Road. The district park is right here. The Windward Health Center is right down below. There's the courthouse and the hospital is right behind us. So we're really, really close to the foot of the ko'olaus. And parking is free. It's another big thing. So we have all parking here where we see the P, our whole campus is free parking. So you don't have to pay a parking pass or anything like that. We have wonderful support services. I know the other CCs mentioned academic career advising. We do have disability services too. For any student who does have documented disabilities, we can provide some accommodations such as note-taking, longer test times. Financial aid was mentioned. We also have a food pantry. So for us, food security is really important because students can't do well and they can't succeed if they don't have the basic necessities. So we have a food pantry here. No questions asked. Students just come in, grab whatever we have available. They can take what they need. We also have a brand new Honolulu Child Care Center. It's right here in the top left. And we have for our student parents who have keiki as young as 6 months all the way to 3 years. We initially started this with a grant. So students, we give priority to our full-time students. This is actually a Hawaiian immersion childcare center. So those students who can speak Hawaiian and or are taking Hawaiian courses, we give them priority. And then if there's more spaces for our part-time students as well. We have mental health counselor. Especially now with the pandemic, that's extremely important that students have accessibility, not just for their physical health, but their emotional and mental well-being as well. And then we have wonderful tech support. So 2/3 of our classes now, because of the pandemic, are online, and about 1/3 we have hybrid or face-to-face courses. So we do have laptop loaners, hotspot loaners, free access to Wi-Fi on our campus. So students, even if they are taking courses online, they do have a place outside of home where they can come and set up shop, so to speak, and still have access to the internet. And we have wonderful award-winning tutoring services. One is called TRIO, Student Support Services. This is federally funded. And we are fortunate on our campus, we actually have 3 TRIO services. One is called Educational Talent Search, and the other one is called Upper Bound, and those are more in the high school, middle schools. But TRIO is kind of a continuing service of that for students who need that support in college. So free tutoring, free access to computers and printing, free lunch. We provide free lunch for our TRIO participants. And we also have another support service called Paipa o Ko'olau, and this is specifically for students who are from the Ko'olau region who feel like maybe education is not within their reach. They may not qualify for financial aid per se, but there are other funding sources that can help provide their education. Students who apply and are accepted to this program, they actually get their first year paid for. So for our early admit program, it's open to public and private high school students as well as homeschool students. Homeschool applicants must be 15 years of age or older. For those who may have already earned their high school diploma and or high school equivalent, our admissions policy as a regular WCC student is either 18 years of age or already have earned a high school diploma. It's one or the other. We don't have any SAT, GPA requirements. It's open admissions. For early admit students also, again, it's not a dual credit program. It's just strictly students taking WCC courses to receive only college credit. We do have a couple of, I guess, requirements that early admit students are unable to have compared to like a regular full-fledged WCC student. So early admit students cannot have a declared major. So they're coming in just being unclassified and just taking courses. Another stipulation we do have is early admit students are not able to take remedial courses. So we do have some courses that are not college level that are numbered below 100 that if students do place into that level, they're not allowed to take those courses at WCC. I think Fana kind of touched upon this earlier. So the requirements is doing that online application, but throughout the whole entire time students are high school students taking courses at Windward, they only have to apply once. However, they do have to do an early admit application every single semester. They do take WCC courses in addition to that 4140 form they also must fill in and submit, and of course the health clearances. So those entail the tuberculosis, measles, mumps, rubella, Tdap, and varicella. And for those students planning to take in-person on-campus courses, also need evidence and proof of COVID-19 vaccination. So our programs, we are a very, very small campus. So ours is a little different in the sense that our counselors are well-versed in all the programs. So we don't have counselors for specific programs. Our campus, we have assigned counselors based on your last name. So depending on what your last name is, you're going to get this counselor. Depending on what your last name is, you're going to get this counselor, regardless of what you major in. We have 4 associate's degrees, 2 are associates in arts. So we have the liberal arts, just the general one. We also have a couple of concentrations within the liberal arts, so fine arts and theater. And we are one of the flagships for the Hawaiian Studies program too for our campus. The associate in science would be a natural science degree with either one of these 4 concentrations: biological science, engineering, information communication technology, and physical science. And the bread and butter of our campus, this is what we're known for, is this associate in science in vet technology, or just the vet tech program in general. We are the only institution in the entire state that offers this program and these types of courses. So for students who don't want to have to travel to the mainland, there is something for them here on island. This is, again, the one I mentioned that does have that additional professional lab fee. And this also is the only major that students cannot select if they do the online application. This one does require them to attend a mandatory information cert first. So any student interested in the vet technology program needs to attend an information session before they're able to declare vet technology as a major. We do have some academic subject certificates. So these are certificates that fall under that associate in arts degree, whether students are majoring in liberal arts or Hawaiian studies. You're going to be taking a whole range of courses anyway, so they can actually pocket, if they're taking certain classes, they can be more intentional with their elective classes and more intentional with what they want to fulfill different liberal arts requirements, and pocket along these certificates along the way. These are not standalone majors. Again, they do fall under the associate in arts degree majors, but these are credentials that students can put on their resumes. It shows a certain skill set. So these are just great things that students can walk out of Windward besides having a 2-year degree. We do have certificates of achievement and competence. So these are standalone certificates. Again, they are credentials. They can range anywhere from about 24 credits to about 32 credits. And so here is another program that's specific to Windward. It's Agri-Pharma-Tech. So if you kind of break down agriculture, pharmacy, and technology, and you kind of squish those 3 disciplines together, that's essentially what this major encompasses. So we have 2 different types of certificates within Agri-Pharma-Tech, this ethnopharmacognosy and plant biotechnology. And these have to do with harvesting or growing plants in more sustainable ways, and also producing products out of these plants for medicinal purposes and for production, food production too. The vet assisting falls again under that vet technology program. So this is actually the first year. Every student in the vet technology program, the first year is going to be that certificate achievement in veterinary assisting. Some students just want to stop there and go straight into the workforce and work in a vet clinic. And that's great. Other students who do want to continue on to the second year actually do have to apply for the second year program. And that's where they're going to earn that associate in science and veterinary technology degree. The other standalone certificates of competence, again, is Agri-Pharma-Tech, information security specialist, and web support. And some of these are as simple as 12 credits, so it really doesn't take them too long. Some of our programs of study, this is our newest one actually, is the business core. So this is cohorted and it's meant for students who want to just take fully online courses. They're going to get a liberal arts degree, but this is specifically targeting a pathway for students who want to get into Manoa Schuyler College of Business. So it is a 2-year program and they're taking accelerated 8-week courses, but they're just taking 2 classes in the first 8 weeks of the semester and then another 2 classes in the second 8 weeks of the semester. So at any given time, they're only focusing on 2 courses. Granted, it is a little more accelerated. It's only 8 weeks compared to the regular full semester, 16 weeks, but it does hit all of the requirements that they need to walk out with an AA degree, and at the same time meeting all the prereq business cores to get into UH Manoa's Schuyler College of Business. The other online AA degree we have is Hawaii Loa one. This has been really, really popular, especially for people on the mainland who used to live in the islands and physically can't take any courses here. This has been a really popular degree, and even for a lot of adult students who just want to learn more about the islands. We have a Hawaii Loa one, similar as far as it being 8-week accelerated courses, taking only 2 courses at any given time. And it is for a 2-year program. And there's different pathways depending on students already have a degree, have just some college credits, or are starting from the very beginning. A couple of other programs of study is another fully online. This is a 1-year academic subject certificate. It's called Ka'o Hekani. Those who want to get in Hawaiian music. This is one of our instructors here, one of our kumus. And again, this one you can absorb if you're going to be getting that liberal arts AA degree. Last but not least, we do have a certified nurses aid program. This is not a program per se in the sense that it is just taking 7 credits worth of courses. It's done in just 1 semester. All of these 3 classes, 7 credits total, are done in 1 semester, and it just prepares students who want to take the state certification exam to be a certified nurse's aide. And last but not least, I did mention the Vet-Tech program. So our traditional program is a 2-year program in person on campus. We actually have a hybrid one. And this is where students are taking the same courses. It's just spread out over a longer period of time. This is specific for students who primarily are already working in the field. So maybe they're already working at a vet clinic and or they may live on the neighbor islands. So for those students, they're not taking as many courses because they have to have a minimum 20 hours working in that particular vet field already. And they just fly onto our campus about 3 times a semester. And they have these flash labs where for like 3 weekends, they're just boom, boom, boom. They just do all their labs in 1 weekend. So they're only flying on island about 3 times a semester. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sydney. So a lot of information, a lot of choices. The education playing field is huge. If I could turn it over to maybe some of the families out there. I know it's a small group, but if you have questions that you may have that you've heard from other families, as a team, we're open to answering any questions that you may have. But before diving into that, again, just going with your graduating senior. So the community colleges look at 3 things: either be age 18, have a GED, or have a high school diploma to get started. So like everyone mentioned, there's no SAT requirements, there's no ACT requirements, there's no application fee for Hawaii residents. We all have placement tests to determine where they start in both writing and math. Those exams are free. And so it's just a really neat, again, education landscape for students to get started. And they can start at all skills level for your outgoing seniors. But outside of that, are there any questions that you folks may have, or you've heard families may have questions about enrolling at the CCs? Anything at all? Yes, June.
I think some families may have this question because many families generate their own high school diploma. So have it recorded that the community colleges will accept a family's generated high school diploma.
I'm going to go on a limb here, and I believe so. A lot falls on our financial aid office. And so if it's recognized by the feds, then we're good to go. At the end of the day, if it's recognized, then it should be able to get federal financial aid. That's the big thing. But yeah, that's not going to stop them from enrolling at Kapiolani or any of the community colleges.
Have there been any diplomas that have not been accepted? I mean, we can make them look as official as they want, but I mean, what makes them, acceptable or non-acceptable? And because you got, when for a lot of homeschool students, one of our talks that we'll be doing will be on putting together a transcript. And we also encourage parents to have some documentation on what the course was, what requirements were for a course description, a course scale, and how they were graded, so that there's evidence of that this was like a legitimate course taken. This was how many hours were spent. So then, and then from the transcripts, the student has achieved what was required for high school graduation for that homeschool, so then the family can generate a diploma. And I know many schools now, since homeschooling has been around for such a long time, colleges and universities are accepting them. So just wanted to pose that question to make sure that families know that they can generate their own high school diploma and that it will be accepted.
What might be a good idea for that presentation is to perhaps invite folks from financial aid to answer that, because for admissions, it will not be a problem. I know for maybe institutions like UH Manoa, those who are at the bachelor's level, they have certain admissions criteria that may ask for high school transcripts, but at the CC level, it's not a requirement for enrollment. And so your families will be fine there.
Okay.
Adding to that though, I've had this very interesting string of conversations for several years about this degree called CPACE. And so I don't think it's around anymore. However, when I would talk to our financial aid office, one of the questions they would always ask me, is it a state-supported degree? And that's the main thing at the end of the day. So if the diplomas coming out of the homeschool families are a state-supported diploma, your families are good to go. So I think to dive into that, however, I think it would be important for the financial aid team to be a part of that conversation. Maybe in this group here, we can reach out to our financial aid team to find out what would be required for homeschool high school transcripts to be accepted and recognized so that they're financial aid eligible. So what I can do is ask that to our team, but maybe to put it out there. So for that panel discussion, maybe if you know of folks in UH financial aid office, or we could provide you with contacts, that would be a good person to be on that panel.
Okay. I will follow up with you, Sheldon, because I think that's a important question, because
yes, very important.
I think when our kids went to school, they did get financial aid, but I guess they accepted our kids' diploma, but they were looking at transcripts, they were looking at grades, the test scores, the SAT. Forget everything what they looked for.
Yeah,
because,
as far I was going to
Because
say, as far as placement, we may be able to look at transcripts for placement, but even for actually any student to be placed in any writing or math course, they can easily dive into our free placement test to see where they start.
yeah.
And those are
And
free.
And I don't know what it is at UH Manoa anymore, but for homeschool students to directly apply to UH Manoa, they were requiring the SAT subject score test,
Oh,
because otherwise they had to take, forget, so UH wasn't open to homeschool students years and years and years ago.
Okay. All right, great question. So I think for the team here, we'll check with our financial aid offices and definitely get back to you and your families about that.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? Like it was shared, the tuition and fees can't beat it. So you talk about a semester's worth of tuition at $1,600. It's sounds high now. I know back in the day, I think tuition was like $25 a credit, but I think at $131 a credit, it's pretty amazing. So question in the chat, can dual credit courses be taken distance learning online with UH Manoa and community colleges? Does anyone want to take a stab at that? I can, if. Okay. So online learning is open to any student. So the thing to know about being accepted into UH Manoa students have access to all the community college courses in the system as well. It comes down to if they're getting financial aid out of UH Manoa, then they got to be careful on where they're taking their courses, because it really depends on their financial aid package. As far as whether they can do in person or online, that's completely up to the student. And so there's really nothing prohibiting them. There's no minimum, there's no like cap or anything like that. So they definitely want to be in an environment that's comfortable for them. So if it's completely online, go for it. If it's at multiple campuses, go for it. But like I mentioned, if again, sorry to make everything about financial aid, but if the award is coming out of UH Manoa, they definitely want to talk to the financial aid specialist there to make sure that they are taking classes that's fulfilling their financial aid obligations. So sometimes they may have to enroll, and don't quote me on this, but I think they may have to enroll in at least 6 credits at UH Manoa if the award is coming from them, and then they can pepper their classes elsewhere. But yeah, online can be a total option. Question in the box for Windward. The Windward Business Online 2-year pathway to UH Manoa. Can students be from another island? Cindy, this is for you.
Oh, yes, because it's an online program. So as long as they're in state, they're just paying the resident tuition and all the classes are online. So it's cohorted, so the classes are already set. So especially someone coming in who has no credits whatsoever and they're starting fresh, then they would just take the courses that are set for each semester. If they are coming in with already earned credits that might already fulfill some of the requirements, then perhaps just for that specific semester, if say, for example, they've done an English 100 already as a high school student, then that's just one fewer class they would have to take for that specific semester. But yes, it is open to anyone in the state. You don't necessarily have to be on island to be in that program.
Can dual credit students participate in the business online program?
That one, I don't think it's offered for dual credit students. That one, I'm not exactly sure. We do have a specific counselor who is attached to that specific cohort, but to my knowledge, I don't believe it's for dual credit students. As far as I know, I think it's only for regular WCC students, because dual credit students can't have a major, right? So dual credit students, early admit students, any high school student who hasn't graduated yet and is still taking winter courses as a high school student cannot have a declared major. they would just, yeah, they can't be in a declared major, so it wouldn't pertain to the dual credit students.
Yeah, and just to add some background on that, because they have not graduated from high school, for all our campuses, we can't put them in a classified degree. They can follow the course requirements of a particular degree, but we can't put them on record in a classified degree because they have not technically graduated from high school yet. And so it's more of a technicality. Okay. And to that question about students from different islands, the beauty about being online is students from the Big Island can take Leeward classes. Students from Kauai can take Honolulu classes. If it's online, you know, all we look at is if they have strong internet access at home, access to perhaps other resources that will allow them to be online, and that's all we ask. Any other questions?
I have another question. Are scholarships or financial aid available for the early admit students, or was that just, okay, that's what I thought. And then at one time I heard that it might be a little bit of a downside to take too many college courses, maybe as an early admit or some because it might, before your graduation, because a lot of scholarships are offered for freshmen. Is there something about that?
It kind of depends, but the caution with taking a lot of classes, and I'll speak on my experiences, their financial aid clock actually is starting. And so let's say they take a whole bunch of classes and then they finally graduate from high school and then they apply for financial aid. What they're going to look at is all the credits that was attempted to determine their financial aid package after that. And so,
oh, okay.
Yeah, so really, I mean, the big takeaway from that question is just to be in strong communication with their community college partner in making sure they're making smart decisions moving forward. I totally get like trying different classes, but at some point, you want to move in that direction with some degree of caution because you don't want to do that too much. I was once working with a student from another high school, took all art classes. And so when they finally enrolled at Kapi'olani as a regular student, their financial aid window kind of shrunk a little bit. And so the only left for that particular student to take was a lot of math and science. And so if you can imagine, if the student didn't do well, then they would have to, you know, retake the class and financially will cover. But because their window is smaller, that window to retake classes becomes more tight. And so you just want to be in communication with the team that you see in front of you and just making sure that you're making just these smart decisions moving forward. Like we shared, we all get the whole AA degree by high school, but you want to play that smart because sometimes when you get that AA degree, if it's with classes that maybe didn't pertain to your ultimate goal, then we may potentially run into other issues down the road. So again, just open communication is maybe the big takeaway for that one. We are, I'm probably going to get slapped in the face for this, but we will respond to emails frequently because we basically live on our computers. And so we encourage students to ask a lot of questions. We get nervous when students stop asking questions because we don't know what's on their mind. And so we want them to keep asking questions so we know what their journey looks like and we can provide information that's relevant to their journey. So just send our emails to Cindy and she'll cover us all. Not just joking. You can email anyone.
And I'll disperse them accordingly to Evelyn, Emily, Fran, and Sheldon.
But you know, for the panel, I know we have just maybe a couple of minutes left. Could you give like one maybe tip you could share with our homeschool families, like the tips for success? Like if you could maybe like a few seconds, if you could provide a tip for success, and I'll go by alpha order again. Evelyn, a quick tip for success for our homeschool families.
What I found out that get involved, you know, your the parents are, their number one fans for going to college. The population that I work with, their parents are not involved. So especially when you're doing FAFSA, the parents got to be actually right beside you. So yeah, talk to your keikis, and it's their journey, but it's your journey as well. So just keep that communication open.
Excellent. Team Leeward, how about you? Tips for success.
Oh my gosh, it's really hard, but I think one of the things is for me in my personal is I think going through a community college for any student is actually my tip for success. Like definitely start off at a community college, because I can tell you that a lot of my success at the university, getting my bachelor's and master's, actually was attributed to all the networks and relationships that I had and mentors that I had from Leeward Community College. So yeah, I definitely highly recommend that you start at a community college, because our professors become mentors to our students and they open up opportunities for future students.
And I would like to add, while exploring college options, ask questions, look at the different community colleges here. While we all share the same sentiment to help our students succeed, there's just one thing or a few things that make the different colleges different. And this could be the one or two things that inspires your child to go to a certain community college. So no question is a bad question. We welcome all questions, like Sheldon said. Email us any time of the day. We will definitely respond to you. And then, definitely just kind of dive into what each community college offers.
Cindy, how about you? Tip for success for homeschool families.
For homeschool families, communication. Believe it or not, young people just do not check their emails. And that's like one of the primary forms of communication with just the institution in general. And kind of tying in what Ev said about having parents involved, that's great. But I think students also need to learn, as a college student, they're empowered, their education is theirs, and they need to be involved from the very beginning. So they should be the one sitting in on these meetings. They should be the one emailing or asking questions. It's great if mom and dad are right there beside them. But really, when I tell students college, I should be talking to the student who's actually going to college and not always the parent, who's relaying the information. It should be more of a direct communication with the college, just because as a college student, there's just a lot more autonomy, right? You're not going to have mom or dad or principal or whatnot kind of like breathing down your back. You have to do this, you have to do that. Once you're told something, it's in the syllabus, your instructor expects you to follow steps 1, 2, and 3. And if you don't know, same thing, ask. Like, don't be afraid to ask for help, ask for questions. Every single person on the campus is here to support students in their success. But it does have to stem from the student themselves, from within, to want that and to know how and know that there are resources for them that they can access.
Yes, if I could just kind of close that loop and say, I'm going to go on a limb here. We are not scary people. And so please talk to us. As you can see, we can connect with families, students and families at times that are convenient to them, because we understand this journey, whether if they're dual credit students or exiting high school, it can be a scary, intimidating journey, but we want to take these opportunities to alleviate some of that anxiety and make this journey a very exciting one. And so, yes, I would agree, like what everyone said, and just adding that communication is a huge piece. Reach out anytime. But that's the Hawaii Community Colleges. That is the UH Community College. Thank you, everyone, for spending your evening with us. I know we're entering fall break next week. And so thank you for allowing us to be with you all as you enter maybe your fall break. I know there's probably a lot of discussions that need to happen now, being that spring 2022 is literally right around the corner. And so I know those who are going to see the video playback, you'll see all our contact information and all the slides. Please, please, please reach out to us and we will gladly help you and your family through this whole academic journey. June and Dan, thank you for having us. It was really a treat to be with your homeschool families. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much for giving up your time to each of you. I learned a lot, and sometimes I wish I could go back to school, but probably not.
June,
So,
no, we have you. June, we have you recorded. You asked about enrolling in classes.
No,
We talked about that. So you're.
That was before 7 o'clock.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Thank you. Just leave.